So we'll keep this thing rolling. Sorry for the delay. Technology just kicked me in the butt a little bit. And it's kind of hard for me to see what you guys are saying. But I will do my best. We will roll with the punches. It is what it is. All right. Hope everyone's doing great. This is 2-a-days. You know how we do it. If you are new to it, every day at 5:30, we're a little late today, but every day at 5:30, we will be on here talking about Seahawks. And of course, like always, this is brought to you by Alaska Airlines. So like we usually do, I'm going to start this session off with my observations. Now, usually I give you some observations. There have been a lot over the past week and a half, but I'm just going to tell you about some guys that I think that you should be paying attention to. Now, we talk about these big names. We talk about Russell. We talk about Jordan Brooks. We talk about Jamal Adams. But there are some guys who are trying to make this team that you should pay attention to. You don't know my story. I was a free agent. I got invited to camp. I made the squad. I got to live my dream for a little bit, okay? So, guys you should be paying attention to. One, the first guy I'm going to talk about is a guy that a lot of you guys probably know, Ben Burr-Kirven. All right, UW. He's a dog. He's a dog, okay? Why you should pay attention to Ben Burr-Kirven? Because he is a guy who is going to back up Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Jordan Brooks, Cody Barton. Then it is Ben Burr-Kirven, and I like this guy. He's an undersized guy, but he plays with a motor. All right, if you don't recognize him now, it's because he cut his hair from when he was at UW. But this is a guy who's going to make an impact on this team. How is he going to make an impact on this team? On special teams at this point. He is a guy who is going to come off the bench if necessary, but he's a guy who's going to lead the way on special teams. And a lot of guys make a living in the NFL by making plays on special teams. I don't see this guy getting a lot of snaps on defense. Okay, but if he makes the squad, he will be, in my opinion, a future captain on this special teams. I'm throwing it out there right now. A future captain. Guys like Nico Thorpe have made a living on special teams. All right. Another guy who we're going to talk about later. I'm not going to say his name to save it. But if you can contribute on special teams, you're going to make plays. Why is special teams so important? It controls field position. All right. If I'm offense, I want a short field. If I have a kickoff cover team, a punt cover team who is going to go down and make those tackles, okay, and give our offense or defense a short field, I like it. Defense, you want a long field. All right. You want that punter to kick it deep. You want the kickoff team to get touchbacks. Field position is such a huge part of this game. When it's late in the game and you're down 7-10 points and you're on offense, you prefer a short field. If it's late in the game and you're up 7 to 10 points and you're a defense, you prefer a long field. Okay. So I'm predicting that Ben Burr-Kirven makes this team and he's going to make an impact on special teams. If we happen to see this guy on the field during regular snaps, during defense, that just means a lot of guys are banged up and a lot of guys are hurt. Okay, so Ben Burr-Kirven is a guy you should be paying attention to. I know all you dogs out there are going to pay attention to him, okay? You see me up here. I'm a coug, but I'm never going to hate on a dude. Never going to hate on a dude. Ben Burr-Kirven, I feel like, is going to make a big impact on special teams this year. Okay, another guy. Man, I got another dog. What's up with all these dogs? All right, I got another UW dog, Aaron Fuller. We talked about him yesterday. If he doesn't make this team, which his chances are slim, okay, I think he can sneak onto the practice squad and make plays there. I was on practice squad for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and then I got the call. Deion Branch got hurt. Dave Burleson got hurt. So now I had an opportunity to play. So if this guy doesn't make the team, which I think his chances are rare, he's going to be on special teams and continue to develop. What I've seen out of this guy, he's a guy who's going to make plays. I mentioned it yesterday. Mock game, made a few plays. All right, the ball was thrown his way. He made those plays. When you're in his position, all right, you cannot lose opportunities out there. And now if he gets on this practice squad, what's up, Vay Flores? I see you. If you get on this practice squad, your job is to get these guys prepared for the season. Okay, let me give you an insight of what practice squad is like. Okay, one, the money is still good. You're not making millions of dollars, but you're still making a lot more money than a lot of people you went to college with, fresh out of college. Okay, the money is good. Two, you are responsible for prepping these guys for the week. I remember we played the Arizona Cardinals. I was Larry Fitzgerald that week. You're running the same routes as Larry Fitzgerald. What's up, John Ford? You're running the same routes as Larry Fitzgerald. You're in the same position as Larry Fitzgerald. They even put a penny on you with number 11 on it. Someone's going to be DeAndre Hopkins that week. If I'm a scout team or a practice squad quarterback guy, I'm going to be Kyler Murray. All right, so these guys play a vital role in the preparation for this team. Now, you might not hear about them. It might not get in the paper. You might not know their names. But if this team were to win a Super Bowl, they still get a ring. Why? Because they were a part of making this team better, getting these guys ready. They're going to run the same scheme that their opponent is running for that week. Okay, so Aaron Fuller, I got 2 dogs for you guys. All right, back-to-back 2 dogs. The next guy, Stephon Sullivan. All right, the tight end / wide receiver out of LSU. Why do I like this guy? He only had 12 catches his senior year. But what I like about this dude is that he's versatile. He can play both positions. I saw him at tight end, blocking guys on screens, getting to that second level with that linebacker core, getting his hands on guys. He's a big dude. I heard his story earlier today. Comes from poverty. I mean, the first guy in his family to get a degree. All these things have prepared the 7th round pick for this moment right here. Say nothing happens in football for this dude. Say he goes through this camp, he gets cut, no one picks him up. He's still winning in life, and that makes me root for him. You put on top of that he can block and he can catch the goal ball. When you're a big guy like Stephon Sullivan out of LSU, you have to be able to catch the goal ball. And he's shown that. I watched his film. If you have time, go ahead and watch this guy's film. He leaves space on the sideline. And what I mean by leaving space is if I'm a receiver, and I got a DB on me. A lot of young receivers just want to try to run around the guy. That DB is going to press him to the sideline. Now there's nowhere for the quarterback to throw the ball. There's nowhere for him to adjust when the ball is thrown. What he does, he gets around the DB and he stacks him. He gets on top, he puts his pressure on him, leans on him, and leaves space on the sideline for that quarterback to throw the deep ball. If you are a big man like Sullivan, the one thing you should be able to do is catch the deep ball because you have a height advantage. You can go up and grab the football out of the air. Okay, so Stephon Sullivan is a guy that you should be looking after as well. Even if he doesn't make the team, follow this guy. If the team doesn't pick him up, which I doubt, I think he'll get another chance. Follow this dude, has a great story. First one in his family to get a college degree. Big ups to him. Played for Coach Ed Orgeron, who was a coach with Pete Carroll at USC. Coach Orgeron loved him, sent him Pete Carroll's way, said this is a guy you need to pick up. Pete Carroll picked up 2 guys from LSU. Damian Lewis, the right guard who probably should start for the team this year, and Stephon Sullivan. Ed Orgeron gave the stamp of approval for both of those guys. All right, next guy, Lano Hill. Why Lano Hill? He's been in the program for a while. He's been banged up a lot. He hasn't really gotten that much playing time. I believe he had 20 tackles last year. This is why you pay attention to Lano Hill. All right? For the same reasons I mentioned Ben Burr-Kirven, you need guys on special teams. You're not going to ask Jamal Adams to go down and make a tackle on special teams. You're not going to ask Quandre Diggs to do that. All right? You're going to ask your 2s and your 3s to do that. And Lano Hill has shown over the years that he can be that guy. And also, say someone goes down. He knows this defense. He knows the language. He knows the responsibilities. All right. That's a guy that you can depend on. And a lot of the times, that's why rookies don't get a lot of playing time because you're not sure if you can depend on them or not. They have talent. They have speed. Their physical is right. But what's the mental like? Can they adjust on the fly? Can they be held responsible? That's what Lano Hill brings to the table. He's not going to impress you with his speed, with his height, his weight. If he gets on the field, most likely he's going to do the right thing. And that's how you gain trust. That's how you gain trust in a coaching staff. And then you put him on special teams and allow him to make plays. All right. Hopefully the Hawks don't have to get to their second or third option when it comes to any position. But if you do get to those guys are the ones on special teams making plays. Okay. So next guy, DeMarcus Christmas. Why? We don't know what he can do yet. We just don't know. He was banged up last year. And we all know this defensive line needs help. They got Benson Mayowa, Bruce Irvin, LJ Collier, Darrell Taylor's banged up. Alton Robinson is making noise right now. But you got DeMarcus Christmas. This is like his rookie year all over again. This is rookie year. If you don't get a lot of reps that rookie season, if you are like LJ Collier, who only got 152 reps, he's still a rookie in my opinion. as far as playing time. Now, he understands what a practice looks like, how to prep for a game, how to take care of your body, but you can't replace reps, right? And DeMarcus Christmas just hasn't gotten a lot of reps. So I'm hoping this guy pans out, and they need him to pan out on that defensive line. You got Poona Ford who's banged up. Jaron Reed's been banged up, okay? DeMarcus Cousins is the next guy up. Brian Monet is the next guy up. LJ Collier is the next guy up. So you must focus on those starters. You got to make sure these guys are ready to go. This season is similar to a college season. When you're in college, you're really just focusing on your ones and your twos. The guys who are going to win and lose football games for you, you are focusing on developing these guys. Now, you spend time with your threes and your fours, but you got to focus on guys that are going to win games right now because there are no preseason games. In college, you have non-conference games, but those really aren't preseason games because they affect your seeding, your standings. If you're Alabama, you're Clemson, you're an SC in Oregon, UW, Washington State. Yeah, I'm going to throw Washington State in there, all right? If you are those guys, those non-conference games hold a lot of value. So with this season where there are no preseason games, they didn't have these OTAs, they didn't have these mini camps, you really have to focus on your ones and your twos to make sure they're ready to get the job done. Your threes and your fours are going to get some reps, but those are most likely your special team guys, and some of those guys will end up on practice squad, okay? Another guy you guys need to be paying attention to, I believe I mentioned him yesterday, Jamarco Jones. Play every position on the line besides center. The right side, the left side. The first time he ever played guard in his life was last year. First time ever. Came in and did a good job for the Seattle Seahawks. And that's what we have to do as fans and as analysts. Okay, we have to realize that football is a tough sport. It's grueling. Guys get hurt, get banged up. All right, your twos and your threes are going to be called upon to make plays at times. All right, so those are my guys. Guys to look forward to, or just follow, because you don't know exactly what they're going to do. What about John Orsua? Yes, John Orsua, I mentioned him yesterday. Honestly, that's my favorite player on the Seahawks right now. He's a shifty slot guy. I think he has great potential. I'm just focusing on a few guys right now. So we got Ben Burke-Irvin. He's going to be a special teams captain one day. I'm going to say that right now. I'm throwing it out into the atmosphere. It's going to come true. All right. Got Aaron Fuller, another dog, a guy who I feel like can sneak onto the practice squad and develop. And when he's called upon, he's going to make some plays for you. You got Stephon Sullivan, the tight end / receiver who out of LSU, who can make plays down the field and is great in the screen game. He understands leverage, understands how to take on those smaller, quicker guys. Lano Hill, the veteran who's been around, who's battled some injuries every now and then. What's up, Chris? Who battles some injuries here and there, but understands what this team wants from him and can make an impact on special teams. We got DeMarcus Christmas, who we really haven't seen yet. And then we had Jamarco Jones, who is your utility player. Okay, with all that being said, I got my rant out the way. You know how I feel today on what's today? August 25th. Getting ready for that mock game tomorrow. Now I turn it over to you guys. What you got for me? What questions? Let's see. Go Hawks, Ben Day. Here every day. Ben Day here every day. All right. What we got here? What impact will John Orsua have on this team this year? Oh, that's a tough one. Right now, I think his best bet to make the team will be in the return game. Honestly, I think he'll be on the team regardless, but will he get on the field? His best bet is in the return game. This guy played for Hawaii. If you didn't know, he led the nation in touchdowns coming out of college. Also, another fun fact about John Orsua is that he went on a mission. This was like a 25-year-old rookie. So he might be young in experience, but not in real life. Let's get another question. Let's see. How much playing time should Taylor get? It all depends on his development. That is from Ben Day. It all depends on his development. Right now, he's behind. Unfortunately, once you get injured, you naturally get behind. That happened to LJ Collier last year. He got injured, I believe, the second or third day in practice. It never really got going. I think that's where Darrell Taylor is right now. Honestly, Alton Robinson has the edge on Darrell Taylor. Even though Darrell Taylor was a second-round pick, a guy that physically they compare to Jadeveon Clowney, he's behind right now. And once he gets healthy, he's going to have to prove that he's been getting those mental reps. That he's been paying attention, even though he hasn't been physically out there. So we'll see with that. Another question. Who do you like at backup quarterback? That's from Nathan. Who do I like? You know what I'm going to say, man. You see that flag behind me? Anthony Gordon. I'm going with Anthony Gordon. Now, I like Anthony Gordon, but I think Geno Smith is probably the smarter pick. Why Geno Smith? You're going to say, oh, he was in New York. He didn't really perform there. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. All right. Truth of the matter is, this guy's a veteran and he understands our offense. That's the thing. If something were to happen, knock on wood, God forbid, Russell goes down. You want to hand the keys over to someone who has been in this position before and who has led. Now, to go against that, Russell Wilson had an opportunity as a rookie, and he hadn't done anything. But the coaches saw something in practice. They believed in him, so he got his opportunity. So the smart move is Geno. My heart says Anthony Gordon because I think he'll produce in this league. Okay, next question. Let me see. How effective will Bruce Irvin be this year? Great question. I think Bruce Irvin will duplicate his sack totals from last year, which was 8.5. I think he can do that. The reason why I think he can do that is because he's going to be put in a lot of different positions. They're gonna make him succeed. They're gonna put his hand in the dirt and let him get after the quarterback. They're gonna drop him into space. And like I've mentioned, I guess I would say 2 or 3 times already during these 2 days, he looks ready to go. He doesn't look like an old guy. He doesn't look like a guy who's washed up. He looks like a guy who's rejuvenated and who is ready to make plays. So I think Bruce Irvin is going to be really effective. And another plus about Bruce Irvin is he's going to mentor these young guys. He's going to mentor Brooks, Burke Irvin, Cody Barton. He didn't even spit some knowledge to Bobby Wags. I know Wags has been there for a while, been there, done that, but you don't know everything. And Bruce Irvin brings a different perspective. So we'll see how he does. Next question. Here we go. How has Shaquem Griffin looked, and where do you think he will play him? I think he's looked decent. He's looked decent. You got to understand, he's undersized for his position, right? They got him at end. He can play some linebacker as well, but he looks decent. Again, another guy who is going to make this team on special teams if he does make the team. I like Shaquem Griffin. I think he brings a lot to the table. He has speed. He's quick. His main thing is he has to keep guys off of him. Once you grab him, he's a smaller dude. It's tough to get off. Those offensive linemen are big boys, man. Yeah, they're big. I mean, especially tackles. Them boys are like 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds. They can move. Once they get those paws on you, it is tough. All right, next question is from Nathan. What are your thoughts on the O-line? My thoughts on the O-line is that the left side should be good, at least early in the season. And I say early in the season because you have Dwayne Brown, who's 34. You got Upati, who's in his 30s as well. Upati battled some injuries last year. So did Dwayne Brown. So I know initially they will be good to go. I love Dwayne Brown and Upati's work ethic. So left side is going to be solid. It's all about the center all the way to the right. Right now, Ethan Posick is winning that job at that center spot. Damian Lewis, we're hearing great things about him. Bruce Irvin talked about him. Dwayne Brown spoke about him. Then at that tackle spot, you have Shell. I really like Shell because he brings experience and he cuts the penalties in half. Jermaine Ifedi had about 14 to 15 penalties last year. Shell had about 7 or 8. So the line's okay. I mean, I think Russell Wilson is going to make the line even better than what it is because he's going to he's going to put these guys in good positions. So I understand the concern about the offensive line, but I think they will be okay. I think they'll be okay. All right, next question. This is from Charles. David Moore. What does David Moore look like? Do you expect him to make the squad? David Moore looks good. He looks really good. He looks good in a sense that what he brings to the table is going to help this team. Now, there are always things you need to work on. I think David Moore needs to work on and has worked on, which I've seen, just being a technician, in and out of his breaks, tight at the top of his route, good hands. We know David Moore as the guy who can catch the ball going down the field. Last year, we had a segment called 100 Yards with Bumpus, and I asked David Moore, I go, what's your favorite route? You know what he said. Hey, deep ball. He loves the deep ball. Most receivers do love the deep ball. So if he can add to his game, if he can be comfortable working off of the press or working off when guys collision his route, I think he's going to be even better. but he's one of the best athletes on the field, guaranteed. This is Michael Bumpus, your host. I will be here every weekday, 5:30. Come holler at me. Don't forget, this is brought to you by Alaska Airlines, our sponsors. We appreciate everything they do. 2 days, tomorrow, check out John Clayton at 11. Holler at me at 5:30. I'll see y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.